next morning I got up, and this guy came to my room and he said, "Hey, did you hear that John Lennon was shot last night?" And I said, "Oh, very funny, you know." And I just went on, started getting dressed, and I don't listen to the radio or anything like that, so I really had no way of knowing until I was on my way down the hall. And all of a sudden somebody said that John Lennon had really been shot. And I was very angry about that because I thought, you know, people shouldn't shoot anybody, you know, and it's nobody's business to just go around and kill people because it doesn't make any sense. It's disgusting. And but I was very sad that had happened because I think when I was growing up, the whole Beatles thing was going on, and I think it had a big influence on me. But then later that year, or early the next year, that was in December, and then in January, my great-grandma Nellie died, and she probably had more to do with me than anybody else. And I always loved her, and she was a very God-fearing and God-loving person. And so we knew she was on her way out. You can tell, she was like 98, and she had just kind of worn herself out, which is, I think, a terrific thing to do. And so when she was getting ready to die, I thought I would write a song for a funeral. And so I wrote a song for her, but it ended up, I wrote it a lot for me, too, because as I began to write it, I began to realize, hey, we're all going to die someday. And I hope that when it's all over, someone will look at me the way that I look at the way I looked at John Lennon and the way that I looked at my grandmother, and I hope that I will have affected somebody somehow. And so the words of this song just kind of came out one day. I was in an apartment on Warsaw Avenue in Cincinnati, Ohio, and it just kind of happened. The Jordan is waiting for me to cross through. My heart is aging, I can tell. So Lord, I'm begging for one last favor from you. Well, here's my heart, take you where you will. What this life has shown me, how we're mended and how we're torn. How it's okay to be lonely as long as you're free. But sometimes my ground was stony, and sometimes covered up with thorns. And only you could make it what it had to be. And now that it's done, well, if they dress me like a pauper, or if they dine me like a prince, if they lay me with my fathers, or if my ashes scatter on the wind, I don't care. But when I leave, I want to go out like Elijah, with the whirlwind to fuel my chariot on fire. And when I look back on the stars, well, it'll be like a candlelight in Central Park. And it won't break my heart to say goodbye. Well, there's people been friendly, but they'd never be your friend. And sometimes this has bent me to the ground. But now that this is all ending, I wanna hear my music once again. 'Cause it's the finest